Hello everyone, my dear gossip addicts, welcome back to the channel that has its ears pressed against the walls of the most exclusive mansions in Istanbul and its eyes wide open to catch the tears falling behind the designer sunglasses. Stop whatever you are doing right now, pull your car over to the side of the road, silence your phone, and hit that subscribe button immediately because the Hande and Hakan Sabanci fairy tale. The romance that we all thought would end in the wedding of the century has just ended in the biggest public scandal the Sabanci family has ever faced. We have covered breakups before, we have covered family feuds, and we have certainly covered drama, but we have never ever seen a woman stand up to the old money establishment with such ferocity, dignity, and cinematic perfection. Last night, at what was supposed to be their official engagement party at the historic Sabanci Yali on the Bosphorus, Hande didn't just break up with Hakan, she burned the entire bridge down. She exposed a secret prenuptial protocol presented to her by Hakan's mother, Arzu Sabanci, that was so humiliating, so controlling, and so medieval that it shocked the entire nation. Hande left the party barefoot, but she left with her head held high, leaving the Sabanci dynasty in absolute ruins. Yes, you heard me right. This is not a drill. The wedding of the year is officially cancelled, and the details are absolutely explosive. Let's set the scene for this disaster because the contrast between the beauty of the event and the ugliness of the truth is staggering. The party was held last night at the historic Sabanci mansion, a place that represents the pinnacle of Turkish wealth and power. It was the introduction of the family's event, a formal tradition. The guest list was the creme de la creme of Turkish high society, business tycoons, and A-list celebrities. Hande looked like a vision in a custom-made, white silk Eli Saab gown, radiating happiness and looking every bit the future bride. She thought she was being welcomed into the family. She thought she had finally won over the notoriously difficult Arzu Sabanci after months of trying to fit in. Hakan Sabanci looked dapper, holding her hand, smiling for the cameras, playing the role of the perfect prince. Everything looked perfect. The Bosphorus was glittering in the moonlight, the champagne was flowing like water, and the violins were playing soft melodies. But underneath the surface, a trap was being set. The nightmare began around 9 p.m., just before the ceremonial cake cutting was scheduled to take place. Witnesses, waiters, staff, and shocked guests who are now leaking everything to us say that Arzu Sabanci asked Hande to join her in the library for a private mother-daughter moment to give her a special gift before the announcement. Hande went in smiling, unsuspecting, perhaps expecting a family heirloom, a necklace, or a brooch passed down through generations. But what she received was a thick, leather-bound document titled the Sabanci Family Protocol for Incoming Spouses. Our exclusive sources have confirmed the contents of this document, and let me tell you, it wasn't a standard prenup to protect assets, it was a slavery contract designed to erase Hande's existence. Arzu Sabanci reportedly handed it to Hande with a cold, tight smile and said, "If you want to carry our surname, you must abide by our rules. Sign this tonight, or there will be no ring." Hande opened the document, and as she read, her smile faded. Her face turned pale, and then it turned red with righteous rage. Here are just a few of the leaked clauses from the contract from hell that Hande allegedly read. First was the career clause, which stated that upon marriage, the bride must immediately retire from acting. No further TV series, no movies, and absolutely no commercials were permitted. Her image must be preserved solely for family representation and charity events approved by the board. They wanted to end the career she built with her own two hands. Second was the social media clause, which demanded that the bride must delete her Instagram account, which currently has over 32 million followers, or hand over full control to the Sabanci PR team. No selfies, no bikini photos, no unapproved posts. They wanted to silence her voice. Third was the physical appearance clause, which incredibly stated that the bride must maintain a weight between 48 kilograms and 52 kilograms at all times, with weekly weigh-ins conducted by the family doctor. Any deviation would result in penalties. And finally, the financial clause stated that in the event of a divorce, regardless of the cause, even if Hakan was unfaithful, Hande would leave with nothing, waiving her right to alimony, and must sign a strict non-disclosure agreement preventing her from ever speaking about the family. Can you imagine the audacity? They wanted to strip her of her career, her voice, her body autonomy, and her friends. They wanted to turn Turkey's biggest star into a silent, skinny mannequin to decorate their mansion. They didn't want Hande Ursel, they wanted a stepford wife. Hande reportedly looked up from the document, tears of humiliation in her eyes, and looked at Hakan, who had just entered the library. She waited for him to defend her. She waited for him to say, "Mom, this is crazy. Tear it up. This is the woman I love." But Hakan Sabanci did the one thing that ended their relationship instantly. He looked at the floor. He shuffled his feet nervously. And then he mumbled the words that sealed his fate. "Hande, please, it's just a formality. Mom is just protecting the legacy. Just sign it, and we can be happy. You don't need to work anyway, I will give you a generous monthly allowance." That word. Allowance. That was the final straw. Hande Ursel, a self-made multimillionaire, a woman who built an empire from nothing, a woman who supports her entire family and donates millions to charity, was being offered an allowance like a child. Witnesses outside the library heard the sound of glass breaking. Hande reportedly threw her champagne glass against the wall, shattering an expensive painting. She then stormed out of the library, holding the contract in her hand. She didn't run to the exit or the bathroom to cry. She walked straight to the center of the ballroom, where the microphone was set up for the toasts. She signaled the band to stop. The music died instantly. The room went deadly silent as everyone turned to look at the bride-to-be, who was now trembling with adrenaline. Hande stood there and delivered the speech of the century. "I would like to thank the Sabanci family for their hospitality," she began, her voice echoing in the silent hall, dripping with sarcasm. "And I would like to thank Arzu Hanım for this gift." She held up the contract for everyone to see. "Tonight, I was asked to sign away my identity to become a Sabanci. I was asked to quit my job, delete my history, and sell my soul for a surname. I was told that Hande Ursel is not good enough, but Mrs. Sabanci would be acceptable if she is obedient and silent." She turned to look at Hakan, who was standing at the back of the room, pale as a ghost. "Hakan, I loved you. I really did. I was ready to share my life with you. But I realized tonight that you don't want a partner. You want a pet. And you," she looked directly at Arzu Sabanci, "you think your money can buy people. You think you are royalty. But let me tell you something. I am Hande Ursel. I earned every lira I have. I earned every fan I have. My name is bigger than your rules. I don't need your money. I don't need your mansion. And I certainly don't need a husband who is too scared of his mother to defend the woman he loves." And then came the moment that will be immortalized in history. Hande took the massive, 5-carat diamond engagement ring off her finger. It sparkled under the chandelier light one last time. "You can keep your contract," she said, throwing the papers on the floor at their feet. "And you can keep this." She didn't hand the ring back. She walked to the large open terrace doors that overlooked the dark waters of the Bosphorus Strait. With the entire elite of Istanbul watching in shock, she threw the ring into the sea. Splash! Millions of dollars, gone in a second, sinking to the bottom of the Bosphorus. She then kicked off her high heels, leaving them on the terrace. "I came here as a guest, but I leave as myself," she said. She walked out of the mansion barefoot, past the stunned security guards, past the paparazzi who were waiting outside, and got into her sister Gam's car, which had just pulled up. Gams had reportedly been texting her during the whole ordeal and was ready to extract her sister from the lion's den. The aftermath today is absolute chaos. The Sabanci family is in full crisis mode. Their PR team is trying to scrub the story, claiming it was a mutual disagreement, but too many people saw it. The stock market even reacted this morning. Sabanci holding shares actually dipped slightly due to the negative press. Hande Ursel, on the other hand, has gained 1 million new followers overnight. Her Instagram comments are flooded with support from all over the world. Queen behavior, she chose herself, money can't buy Hande, Arzu Sabanci met her match. Hakan Sabanci is being roasted on social media. He is being called Mama's boy and the coward. Memes of him looking at the floor while Hande gave her speech are trending at number 1. He has effectively become the most unappealing bachelor in Turkey. Who would date him now, knowing the contract that awaits them? This morning, Hande broke her silence with a simple, powerful post that silenced any remaining critics. She posted a photo of herself eating a burger, a direct jab at the weight clause. With her dogs in her own garden, looking relaxed and happy. The caption was just 3 words: free. Independent. Hande. No explanation needed. It was the ultimate mic drop. Industry insiders say that producers are lining up at Hande's door today. Everyone wants to hire the woman who said no to the Sabanci empire. She has proven that she is more powerful than the old money establishment. She is the new power. She protected her art, her fans, and her dignity. This story is a lesson for every woman: never let anyone, no matter how rich or powerful, make you feel small. Never sign away your voice. And if you have to choose between a diamond ring and your self-respect, throw the ring in the ocean every single time. My dear friends, I am still shaking from the drama. This is better than any episode of Ask I Memnu. I need to hear your voice on this because I know you have strong opinions. Was Hande right to throw the ring into the sea, or was that too dramatic? Should Hakan have stood up to his mother, or is family loyalty more important? And what do you think about the slave contract? Would you have signed it for $1 billion? Let me know in the comments below. I want to read every single theory, every rant. Don't forget to like this video to support Hande's freedom, subscribe to the channel because we will be tracking where that ring landed, divers are already looking. And hit that bell icon. The wedding is off, the contract is trash, and the queen is eating a burger. Until next time, stay independent and keep your heels high, or take them off if you need to run. Goodbye.